Oh my God.
There we go. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Good old OBS, right? Good old OBS just turns the mic off altogether because, as you can see, it's on here. All right, we'll go again from the top. Daily, extended, same setup as yesterday. We need to see a pullback to get long. I'm not buying up here. I'm not buying up here. It can keep going without me. That's fine. All right, it can keep going without me. That's fine. If we see a pullback like yesterday, we can think about it, but I'm not playing up here, and we can wait for a first red day setup if we're going to take a short. Otherwise, I'm not really interested in the short either. All right, that's what I was saying. If we move to hourlies, all right, this is the same as yesterday, consolidating within overnight range. All right, exactly the same setup as we saw yesterday, consolidating an overnight range. I will not touch the market in this range. It's very simple. Look below and fail. This is literally identical to yesterday right now. Look at that. Below, reclaim. Below, reclaim. All right, so it's very simple. Either we start failing out of this. First red day would be underneath PDC for that move there, and then we can bid back up from either here or here if it gives a giant flush, but somewhere down here would be nice for a bid back up. If we reclaim, some of you might think about the long like we had yesterday. I will not be taking that today because we've run out of room. All right, so we haven't got enough room for me to validate that long upside. What I was trying to say before realizing is the divergence to ES is massive. All right, so ES right now until the last minute had put in a nice W and was basing well above VWAP, above the W. We're not seeing that. All right, we're seeing liquidity build out, failing of low volume node, failing of VWAP. The shorts here, if you're going to play it, it's a very hard trade, will come under value, and the big short will come under PDC. If they stay heavy under PDC, you're looking at 300s, previous day value, previous day point of control. That would be a nice move. The long opportunity either is a look below and a reclaim, a bit like we've seen here, or a pump above and a hold above. All right, that's it. Otherwise, we're stuck in overnight range. I don't really want to trade this. I do not want to trade this for me. I want to leave that alone, wait and see how we act either side of it. I'll do my best to leave it alone in this range, especially with the divergence playing out between the two indexes. I'm going to have to get through this very quick now because I didn't realize that had happened earlier. Okay, so let's move through these. Yes. Here's your divergence, guys. All right, there's the divergence. Very different, right? Little sweep into PDC, W formation above VWAP, holding the 770s, trying to get up to 75s. Expansion through that. We haven't actually got. Man, is TradingView just reset everything now? Are we playing games now, TradingView? Seriously? Fuck me. So you charge more and you've done it again. You've reset all the charts again. Let's just let this update for a second, folks, because these are wrong. It's not even going to let me do it, eh? Yes, update to latest version. Here they come. Okay, there we go. Jesus. Why do they charge more money and then keep resetting everything? Okay, so that's the difference on ES. You can see the structure is different. All right, on the W at these 770s and VWAP. If it catches a bid this morning, they're going to go and try and take out Globex. The first red day setup, very hard setup, would have to come underneath all of this for a rotation back to here. I don't know if that comes in or not, but that's the same kind of setup, the only setup I would be looking at short side right now. Otherwise, very, very dangerous. All right, spiders, same kind of story, all right? Above VWAP, you can see we had this wick. I'm going to assume that's a dark pool, but I'll have a look at it in a moment. All right, so we're just pinned in here in overnight and yesterday's low. So underneath 700, you will see weakness come in for probably more of a flush to 97 and then a bid come back in. So we'll see if it offers a backside at all. QQQ, you can see the relative weakness. Okay, failing to make a new high. Stuck in this range. First red day setup comes under here. This is the range. You want to be very careful. But if we lose this, there's potential wash down into these. We're starting to lose the bid at 400 now already. So we will see. I'm going to get through this quick. Dixie found a bid. All right, but again, this is probably going to break down. This is probably going to be like some form of little bid up here and then a pullback. All right, and maybe if the market breaks down, Dixie reprices further into this kind of pocket up here, creates like a leg out here to be sold into, because we're pretty extended. VIX, by the way, okay, expiry finished, and it's starting to hold the 18s and lift back upside. So expiry finished yesterday. You can see VIX, we've got compression here, 1, 2, 3, higher low, starting to see this now. If we don't see divergence because the OPEX is done on VIX, maybe we see that lift, which would be downside pressure in the market if we do. Right, MAG. Overextended, all right, remember, overextended. We've held this level really well, the 56s on Apple. We are through these guys here at 66s and 60s. We're coming into the 70s. I'm still long and holding this, but I'm long from 202s, so I'm happy to hold. But maybe we get some pullback like this over the next week into earnings, which would be good. Amazon. Same kind of story, overextended, way overextended. All right, great drive, don't get me wrong, like very happy with this because we're long in it, but probably need some pullback into here this week, next week, ideally, and we can re-add dips in here. If we came down here, I will absolutely load the boat, but if anything in here, I'm going to be re-adding on dips. Google, same story, absolute ripper. This is the one I've missed. I need to wait to see if this wants to come back in. We're into top side of supply. We need to let this come in for swings, all right? But for the morning session, again, looking good. Came right into pre-market highs, pulling back a bit off it. Markets looks like it's jumping around on the book a little bit here. Just be careful if you're in anything. I don't know what it's playing at right now. Meta, failing to make a new high, but again, inside yesterday's range. So previous day's high here, pivot here, all right? Range build out here, weakness below that possible. Hold and print above that possible, look above and fail possible, look below and fail possible as it just builds out range in Meta. I did take some profits in some of these names, by the way. Microsoft coming into that big 420 wall we talked about yesterday. Okay, the next level to clear will be these stops at 23. I would imagine we start to pull back at some point soon. This is a huge move, so maybe an overextension and a pullback in, and again, we can reload then. Right, once we build out some liquidity here, we can reload for the next leg higher. Hopefully it pulls back for us to get some more size on, but at the moment it won't. Nvidia stuck at the 200, so your 200s, you're over under, and we can set a price alert up here in case we break above this as well. But it looks good so far on this move, but again, probably needs to cool off a bit, gapping down slightly today. It's got room to come right back into 95s and 90s. Down here would be really good to give us a new buy opportunity. Somewhere down into here would be nice. Tesla finally caught a bid. We talked about this. This has been the weakest one. We can see this trend down. Finally caught a bid. So again, ideally, you'd want some pullback to hold, and we can start getting long into this name. But it's been the weakest of the bunch. All right, it's taken a long time for it to get going. Again, versus yesterday, slight gap down, but you're still within yesterday's range. So rotation of yesterday's range. Sorry, here, rotation of yesterday's range. If it can hold above, sorry, slight gap up. If it can hold above PDC, maybe it has one more squeeze out. Remember, 400 and 420 has always been the level on Tesla. It's always been the level, as long as I can remember now for the last year or so. We'll see if it comes back in and offers us a rebid down into here somewhere for swings. Oracle, I took a little bit of profit yesterday, all right, and we've had a good move here. Again, I'll be looking for it to pull back in and reload. Netflix earnings tonight. Again, I took a little bit of profit yesterday because we're up from our longs from down here. All right, breaking the 108. You can see 112, 120. I've still got some decent size on, but I'd love a pullback in this market. We'll see what happens on earnings. If we overextend, I won't be buying anything. All right, if we come back in on earnings and the guidance is still good, I'll look for redip. Anything under here, look below and fail, I'm going to be buying. That's it. That's the plan. Hood as well, starting to get going as well. Remember, we're long in this, coming up to some key levels. All right, we'll see if we can break through the 90s. We've got gaps to fill above. I took profits on that first drive, so I'm not going to take profits on this drive. See if we come back in to sort of 80s for a rebid on this as well. That is the story of the tape. That's where we're at, folks. Nothing else has changed. Bullish market overall, divergence overall, OPEX, remember, and look at that reclaim. So no breakdown underneath grey box, Mr. Grey Box. They just want to hold every single level right now, unwilling to give any form of notable pullback. It seems it's been the story of the tape for the last few days. No notable pullbacks. Maybe that little one yesterday wasn't too bad. We caught the short. And again, now we've got divergence the other way. Now NQ starting to go and ES isn't. So I don't know, man. I am not convinced I'll have a trade the next 2 days. I'm going to be really honest with you. I said it to the team last night. If we keep holding up here and not pulling back, and we keep seeing divergence between these two markets, I don't see how I'm going to trade it into OPEX. I hate OPEX as it is, and this is going to make it really hard again. We'll see what we get here this morning. I won't be surprised if they just do a morning drive right the way up, and then we see what we get. But, you know, VIX is breaking out again, and we're just driving up again on all markets. So we just have to see, folks. But I'm very unconvinced that I'm going to take a trade today. We're going to have to just see what we do outside of this grey box. There's nothing to do inside of this grey box. That is for sure. Zero to do inside the grey box. How long have we got to open here? Well, we're opening now. There's the morning drive up. There you go. Right to the top side of the box. Surprise, surprise. Right to the top side of the box and got slammed up there. Do they catch a bid again at VWAP? Remember, ES above its VWAP, above the 770s, holding very, very strong. Is that going to be it, really? You're going to give a morning drive to short like that, and that's it. Okay, well, we'll see how we act at the bottom of this box if we start losing it. Oh, my God. For goodness sake, market. This is just ridiculous. Making it very hard to trade here. Right, bottom of the grey box. Let's see. ES holding the 770s. We can put a little bit of volume on here. I'd love to get short if we're going to let go, but we're going to need some kind of pullback other than this just morning drive to be slammed into. So we're into value area low from overnight. We just have to see how we operate here, folks. Into POC. This is where they've bid all day, all night. ES starting to get a little bit stuck at those 770s. So we might see a pop start to fail soon if it lets go of 770. So looking for a short here. Here's Globex low. Let's see if we can continue this underneath. Buyers got caught at 405. So all the time we're under 405 is willing to look for a short side. Back down. I want to be very careful if it look below and fail. I want to be very careful of that 70-70 on ES. Here we go. All right, I'm in now. See if we can get his previous day high. See how far we wash here. See if we hold PDH to take it off. But if we can get to PDC, if we break PDC, then we're going to have a first red day set up. If we stay heavy versus PDC, this is what we're talking about. Here we go. Covering a little piece here. Can we keep flushing? And then I'll start adding back on aggressively. Yes, under those 770s. Remember, relative strength in ES this morning. Mag not opening up particularly strong. Strongest one there is Microsoft. All right, back to Globex. They're reselling this at the moment. As long as we hold between 90 and 405s sell side, I'm good to keep adding into this. Here comes PDC. We want to see if we get first red day set up under this, down into these would be good. Very, very sensitive area. Sellers getting stuck down there in front of that PDC. They're front running, looking for the break at the moment. ES coming right back up to the 770s. Big, big level on ES. If they reclaim it, we can go squeeze here. So we want to be careful. 405s. Do not want to see this back above 405s. We have swept. No, we haven't. We haven't swept either. Just to make it extra bullshit, we haven't swept either. If they break 405s, they can go right back to the upside, folks, so that you understand. If they break 405s, they can go right back to the upside. Just to make it extra hard for everyone. And ES is back above 770. So the divergence continues. So we don't sweep, we let go, ES reclaims, and we're in no man's land now. If we break 405s, I'm out. So glad I took a little partial into PDC. Stop's getting run here. I wonder if they're going to work this back down into this stop run under 85 again. Here we go. They've got to break this low of day because that's where all the sellers got caught. Just check this M5 there. Yeah, we've got to break this low of day and then we can start washing. Yeah, still holding above the 770s, so or 7070, sorry. So the divergence still massively there right now. Huge divergence. I'll give you a readout on the. I'm still in this under 405s, by the way. As a mag as a whole, we're down 0.15%. Tesla down 0.72%. Nvidia down 0.86%. Meta flat on the day. Microsoft is the winner, up 1.26%. Google down 0.14%. Amazon down 0.5%. Apple down just under 1%. That's where we are right now. Divergence still here. ES just unwilling to let go of anything right now. And it's stuck. And this is like yesterday. This feels exactly the same as yesterday when we have a move one side and ES just completely stuck. So 405 is my out. Above that, it will break higher. Otherwise, I'm going to sit in this sell side. VIX also looking really good for moves higher without seeing anything coming into ES sell side. Under PDC, I think we can get heavy, but you want to be careful. That'll be the first red day setup if they move under PDC. So we'll see if we can break down all the way down into here. Here's PDH. They've got to let go of this and PDC, and then you'll get first red day set up. And ES is going to... I hate looking over there right now. I'm telling you. That is a bad look over there at ES. It needs to break down. This is just like yesterday, except yesterday we were looking for the longs, where the divergence is pretty notable. Pretty notable. All right, PDH here again. Here we go. Come on. Let's see if we can get this flush now. Got to get under PDC and then we can think about first red day. And I'll try and hold. We'll try and hold. Here we go. So you can take a trim here if you want. I'm not going to take a trim here because I took one on the first go. And we'll see if we can get down into the 600s. 600s? Sorry, 300s. Alex, be reasonable. 300s. Be careful because they have swept now. We've taken out that overnight low. ES still yet to break down. Microsoft holding up well. Meta caught a bid here as well. Here we go. Come on. They're stacking bids here. I'm surprised we haven't filled these bids. They're stacking bids all the way down to 30s at the moment. There's a big bid down at 42s, 100 lots. I'm hoping that we can come down into some of these and then start to get weak under them. Here we go. Beautiful. Can you do more? When we get to these 40s, you're going to front run everything because all the shorts are scared after the last few days. You're just going to keep front running everything. Yep, you are. You're scared. Morning range chop. This is certainly not morning range chop. We've moved outside of overnight value and breaking down at the moment. It's certainly not morning range chop. I'm not really sure. If we reclaim all of this, we can go into a choppy market, but I think you need to start reading what's in front of you, not just saying stuff. Okay, 05s are still my out. It's the look below and fail. 05s is my out. So they all covered in front of that 100 lot. They're all still too scared. And we're going to take out 70 again on ES. So unwilling to break down. Okay, here's my out of this now. What a lift. And we can go right back to the upside now. So this can be the look below and fail. I'm not going to trade the upside move. ES are going to make everything impossible. So ran stops at 405. ES is still holding VWAP, still holding 70.70. Can't get over its New York Open. We can have another go here if it sets up. After that stop run both sides now. So we've popped the stops at the bottom, popped the stops at the top. Wait and see if we can have a first red day set up here or not. Back to PDC. It's mainly shorts getting scared and covering early because the bids are actually sat lower. The bids are much lower right now. You're out of bullets. How can you be out of bullets 9 minutes into the day? Or have you been trading Globex? Right, ES now looking like it wants to join in. So watching this same setup here for a first red day setup. There we go, PDC. Here we go. Can we stay heavy versus value now? That's the question. Starting to come into these bids. I'm looking for this 100 lot at 40s. And if we break under him, that's the first imbalance we'll really start letting go. And we can make a move down into these. Here we go. Come on, give me the first red day setup. Oh, come on, ES, just join in to make my life easier, for goodness sake. Just once. Just once. Can you make my life easier, ES, this week? Nope. Nope, you got to go back to the 70-70 again, for fuck's sake, ES. Now I'm starting to get pissed off with this OPEX market. Dangerous with no volume and low VIX. VIX is breaking out high day, mate. We're at 1835. It's over PDC yesterday. It's broken out of high day. We've been in low volume since the low we put in a week ago because it's a short covering rally, not buying pressure. We've been over this many times. Many, many, many times. Okay, back to my out again if we break through this. Same story. Are we too biased that we must pull back today? It's not a bias. I'm just trading the setup that I talked about pre-market. Like I said, if we break over the grey box and hold, I'll be long bias here. If we're under this grey box, which is your Asia value area low and staying heavy, I'm looking for sales back down. It's just the setup, guys. Okay, I'm going to focus on the screens now because you guys get we're going to do this, we might see this, we want to see this, and I'm just going to play exactly what the chart's telling me and nothing else. And if I make money, I make money, and if I don't, I don't. That's just what I'm playing. I'm playing my hand that I've been dealt, nothing else. There we go. Here we come, the sellers. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Into this 100 lot at 40s. Can we see follow through now? So the 100 lot at 40s that we talked about. If we get under him, there'll be some nice follow through. ES now finally joining the party. Look at the difference once ES joined the party. So front running that 100 lot again at 40. 109 lot bidding there at 40. Paid myself a bit on this flush and we're just waiting to see if we stay heavy. I'll add back on, like I said, playing the first red day. Yes, I'm in a position. I've said I'm in the shorts all morning. All the day we're under this grey box, all the time we're under the grey box. I'm in sells. Okay, and if we start rejecting this level here, I'm going to look for a first red day setup because it's under previous day close, because NQ is now red, first red day setup for a bigger move down, and then I'll consider buying the market back in any of these areas down here. Okay, I'm ignoring chat now, guys. I've told you pre-market what I'm looking for. I'm very, very, very clear, as I always am, on what trade I'm looking for. I'm not going to get into if bits and maybes and I see this and I don't care. You have to let me trade what I'm seeing. I'm not guessing the market. I can only trade what's in front of me. It's getting absorbed so far on Globex. Took 420 to 370, 1,400 funded. Best trading for the month so far. Thank you again, Alex. You've changed my trading game. Hey, thanks, Chris. Appreciate it, my friend. Okay, we're watching these nodes here. If we start recovering this, I might cut it early. You can always look to rejoin, but I'm watching this low volume node here. I would like to see sellers protect this low volume node now. All right, but this is the level. This is your first red day setup. You can see we found a bid on this gamma level. If we wash under this, this is the highest volume level down here. I'd love to trade down into these to get some partials, but I've paid myself no matter what now. So if they can't protect this, I will be out. Because it's potentially a high low divergence with ES again. Moving my stop down here to protect this. Yeah, it's going to make it very, very hard. Yeah, ES going to make this hard. Won't even close its gap. It's found a bid. Where are we trading on the spiders? Holding 700s on the spiders, so that's the big level, 700s. Where's the next one? 703s, if they really want to get going on the spider stay. All right, I'm out of this now, so runner wouldn't go for me. That's okay. I'll watch these same levels. Nothing's changed for me. If we start recovering this grey box, then there's a bigger squeeze. But at the moment, nothing's changed for me. I'm looking for the same levels, same plays over and over and over again until something changes. And I'll play the upside of the box as well, like I talked about. Yeah, orb now set, and we're basically at the midpoint of the orb here. Again, that 770 is your level on ES. That's your over-under on ES. I'm still willing to play the first red day setup if they give it. Back down to that level, value area low on the session. If we stay heavy under this, I'm going to look for the same setup again. We still haven't filled that buyer at 45s. So watching this now, if they start to let this go. ES hasn't filled its gap either. So we're still protecting value area low on this session and PDC. So they don't want to, they know, the buyers know that under here is a first red day setup, and they are trying to protect the bid here right now. So previous day high, previous day close. And this is your, what, biggest gamma on the day? Third highest total exposure. Relative strength in ES again. Still not filled that bid. I'm not in at the moment. I'm out of that first position. Just waiting to see, because we're starting to get pretty compact down here in tight value. We can really pop over 400. So I'm just like being patient with ES right back at that 70-70 again. So it's the big levels. These are the big over-unders. We don't have much volume over 400. They can do a bit of a face ripper over 400 if they want. Can I explain first red day setup? Yeah, well, look at the daily chart. Look at the move that we've done off the lows. Think about under PDC, all right, would be when you go red on the day. So if we see a move under PDC and we stay heavy, it would be our first red day, all right, for a potential pullback moment in the market. But at the moment, we're pulling back into that gamma level. We're holding the hourly flow zones down here at the lows. We're holding PDC. We're not seeing follow through underneath it yet. Isn't OPEX usually red on Fridays? I don't know. You'd have to look, mate. I actually don't know the stats on that. I tend to try and avoid OPEX Fridays altogether because I just think the action gets very, very wonky. So developing like a bit of a pin in here in this value area here, but we are under Globex value, which is why I'm like staying sell side at the moment. But like I said, if they get through this, this can happen here very, very quickly. Because we're starting to see this like start to pin out and get very, very tight. But I would like to see this. That's what I'm looking for, and then runners down into these if possible. If we don't see it, we don't see it. There's no setup. We've had one go, two goes at it. Yes, back into PDH again, so it's under the 770s. It's just whether it's going to find follow through underneath PDC, which hasn't tapped yet. So we're at PDC again, looking for the same setup again here if we're going to stay heavy. I'm aware of that buyer who's been on the tape all morning, 100 lot at 40s. All right, so if he starts bidding and we start staying heavy under him, he will get himself caught. So I'm already thinking ahead about that level if we break under him. You can see PDC just being absorbed over and over, and PDH being absorbed on ES over and over. Look at VIX, absolutely ripping faces like I talked about. Like it's done that inverted head and shoulder we talked about pre-market. It is ripping faces. We're up to 1865, that 5-minute flag, bull flag breakout is coming up to liquidity at 65. Through that, it can go 19s. If it wasn't OPEX, we'd be bleeding right now. If it wasn't OPEX, this ES would be bleeding right now. but we're coming into a key level on VIX. So if we do a little look above and fail on VIX and pull back inside, market might catch a bid here. So you want to be cautious. Did we just look above there? We did. We just tagged it on VIX. I want to be careful here. If VIX sustains a bid, this thing loses a bid on the market. Well, in theory, we're right into that level on the VIX. It's trying to sustain it. We're into PDC. This is the big level here. This is the big level here. Watching this now. That buyer's still at 40. So I want to see us like sell hard and stay heavy. And then we can see a break here. VIX still going. Watching ES into PDH. At 65 is key. If we start losing 65 on ES, then I'm going to look for the 60s. And then we can think about the 50s and a big breakdown. All right, here's under PDC. So I'm interested here. I know it's the lows of the day, but we've got lots of room underneath. So I'm interested if we start to see buyers get caught and stay heavy here. Not beforehand. Watching this guy at 40s. We can break aggressively if they get caught. Here we go. They're trying to get into these 40s, this 100 lot. Got a piece on here, small size. I'd like to see pops fail though. VIX still going. Looks really good for a breakout here, VIX. Nice continuation. Need to just see low of day taken and then break the 40s, the guy at 40s, and then a wash. We come into this guy at 40s. Here we go. He hasn't been filled yet. He's about to be filled. There's him filled. There's the break. All right, covering some here. Holding runners now, and we'll see if we get this first red day set up. So stop moved into the money. Here we go. So you'd like to see like opening range or 45-ish stay heavy. They might want to lift it to 64s, but ideally you see continuation down here. But paid myself no matter what. Stops in the money. We'll see if it goes now. ES now filled the gap. This is everything I talked about. VIX breaking out. Look at VIX. Rip, 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 rip. This is why you have to be aware of what's going on in the other indexes. Beautiful. This is pre-planned as well. This is what we talked about pre-market. Here's the plan. All right, moving stop down now. Really nice. Can we see an acceleration here into 300s? Remember, 305 is that big level, gamma level. That's the high volume node. If we get under that, we're going to have a fun day where we can just hold runners all day long. So hopefully you're learning with me. You know, hopefully you're seeing the setup. Someone said, I don't know why you trade the opening morning today out of all the days. Well, because it was probably actually one of the cleanest mornings today after all those moves up. So we're watching now 305s and what's the next level down here? 305s and then previous day value area high. I would expect a bid to come in this market around 192s if it doesn't come in before. All right, so this is my final target for today. But this is a big level here. So the TP's here for these runners. Here, here, and here. I don't think we will move below here. If we do move below there, that's serious weakness. So this is the first red day setup under here. We're starting to see follow through. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Posted a thing on Twitter last night about sticking to your rules, sticking to your setups, not letting all the noise and chatter affect you. Our job is just to trade for us. That's why sometimes I get dialed in. Beautiful. All right, let's take a little TP here and we'll see if we can get follow through. Previous day high and previous day point of control here, the next targets. Look at VIX. All right, this is what gave me the confidence, and we're coming into 19s now on VIX, which is a big level. All right, so that you understand why I watched this, it was very, very, very important to understand this. Look at this move. We'll go to a 5 minute. We talked about this 5 minute flag, break, go, All right, here's the 19s. That's the target. Anything above that, 20s. Remember, we held the 18s. OPEX on VIX finished yesterday, so this is a truer move than yesterday. Here we go, folks. We're looking fantastic now. Fantastic. Took 2 bites at the cherry. That's why I said I was willing to actually play the short here. Many of you might have said, hey, you're in discount. Well, no, we're not in discount. We're in massive premium, okay? It's just taking the breakdown underneath value. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, coming into previous day value area high. So I've got runners out to start to cover into these levels. And then previous day point of control. And I'm probably going to beat out pretty much everything into point of control from yesterday if we get that low. Fantastic. Look at this. Finally letting go. All right. ES is now at that 70.50. So if you're trading ES, you want to be 80% out of your profits here. You can look for the 24-hour VWAP and the first put support. So 45 and 41 if you're trading ES today. If you're trading the spiders, you're looking for 98 ideally. If you're trading QQQ, you're watching 35s here, and then we're going to go negative down all the way to 30 and 25s. It's possible today if they really start to let this thing go. Yeah, patience pays. It's not just patience pays, it's just understanding the setups, right? Like, I could have been pulled into the guys here this morning who were saying, I don't know why you're trading this, and but I don't. Because why? Let's just make this simple. Overnight value was here, right? Morning shove, rejected value, rejected Newark Open, came back under, rejected value area low from overnight. We're under 24-hour VWAP. We're under flow zones. We're under the New York Open. We're seeing pressure. We're seeing it build out liquidity. We know first red day setup is under here. Our targets are here, here, and here. Okay, and we've hit most of those targets. The final target is down here. So any push up here that fails this, you can think about continuation. Any reclaim of this, be done with the short. All I hope is that I've explained it for you guys. That's all I really care about. So ideally you see a move back up towards 43s, anywhere from 43s to 65s. And then we can think about reloading there if buyers get caught on that lift up. But remember, the main move's gone. This is what we wanted to see. If we lift up and stay heavy, then we can have another crack at it. Still looks good. I'm still holding runners. Starting to develop a bit of a node down here at 87s, right? So they're worth being aware of. So remember, our targets are here, previous day value area high and previous day point of control for the runners. You should have paid yourself 60, 70% by now. So it's a nice first red day setup. We're coming into is that right? That seems, maybe it is. Previous day value area high is also value area high for the week, for the current developing week. So it's a big node down here. What are the indicators on my chart? Pretty much everything you're looking at is the flow zone indicator. It's probably the biggest thing you're looking at. This, right, you can get it on my website. It comes as part of the course. Other than that, these here, these are your options levels. All right, so these are just options. That's a paid indicator, like not a trading view indicator, like a paid indicator. So that just helps you understand where the high volume nodes for options are when we're going potentially for a negative move on the day, which is under this, where we might go for a positive move for the day. And in this area, we can be kind of volatile while they chop it out and decide what the move is. So above here, we can go positive for the day. Below here, we can go negative to the day. These are resistant zones or call walls. These are put walls all the way down here. Right, so hopefully it just helps you give some confluence, especially in these markets at the moment where options traders are having quite a big effect in the futures market, I'd say recently. They really are. They really are. All right, so like I said, let's see if they back test this towards value area low. So I'd be watching sort of the 40s, and if they reclaim 40s, the 70s, really 65s to 70s. But 40s looks an interesting level. We've got some imbalances from 41 to 54 from where we broke down on. If we start reclaiming value and the opening range, then you probably want to be done with the shorts for the day, or at least for now. Remember, ES has hit the nodes that we've hit as well. It's done the same move. So you'd be watching for a PDC backtest on ES to see if they stay heavy. So any sort of backfill here, see if they stay heavy on it. What indicator gives you the previous day point of control? Nothing. I draw that in, right? I draw that in each day. It's not an indicator. I'm sure there are indicators that do it, but I draw it in myself. Same with the grey boxes. I draw this stuff in. It's not rocket science. You can do it yourself. It takes 2 minutes to do each day, if that. Right, so far, no move over value. I have value a little bit higher on NinjaTrader at 31s. Still looks good. It still can be a flag breakdown, but we want to be careful of a failed break now. But I'm still holding this. See if we can move lower. This is like the bear flag build out towards value that we talked about. All right, for this move, anywhere into here. See if we can resell it back down. I haven't added on yet, just the core position. What was the news that dropped? I don't think there was news necessarily that dropped. I think it's a liquidation break. Okay, 70.50, very, very key on ES. Bids came in this morning on the NQ at 86 or 87s, 86, 75, 87. So that's the level that buyers are currently trying to protect. So we want to move under that, and then we'll leave those buyers from the first drive trapped. But at the moment, you can see there's some absorption into these levels on the tape. Once we break under that, we can think about the 55s, which is clearly a level on the book right now where they're stacking at 55. So they're stacking just below previous day value area high at the moment. But again, at the moment, 87's being protected. It's worth noting that 87's is being protected. This node here is where buyers came in these candles here, right? So we have sell side underneath, and then a buyer stepped in and forced us up. So at the moment, there are a little bit of sellers caught underneath 87's and a buyer protecting 87's. And in that dip back in, we've just protected 87's again. And 70.50 again, the big level for ES, and ours is 305s. So this is your over under. This is where it can sort of chop around a lot in here. It can get pretty volatile in here while they make a decision. So it's up to you how far you're willing to let this come back to your entry up here. Maybe you're done with it already. Maybe you're going to let it come back and add. If you reclaim though, you don't want to be adding. Oh, come on, Bookmap. I'm absolutely on my arse in Asia. Oh, I was absolutely. I'm on a 25k Lucid account. My balance was just $200 US. I've closed out for 370 for today, and I continue to repair the damage 1 micro at a time. That's all you need to do, mate. Take your time, 1 micro at a time, build it back up. Nice and slow. The good thing about Lucid is you can, if you catch a trend in it, you don't need to worry about the trailing drawdown. You can just let it go. And depending on what account you are, there's probably no consistency. So you can just let it go. How does Nvidia movement play into my decision making? I don't specifically watch one stock, but like all the mag are red other than Microsoft, and Microsoft's pulling back in after being like 1.5% up. It's only 1/3% up. So like it does influence me on the day. We actually opened up with a bit of divergence between them, and we're still seeing that. I mean, you're still seeing relief in the software names, which have been sold off between 40 and 70% down. So like Oracle is 3.24% up today. AMD is 2.30% up today. Netflix is in a pullback day. Hood's in a pullback day. AVGO is like a little bit up today. So we've got a mixed board, but like you got to remember, some of the names got really, really, really hammered, and this week or the last 2 weeks has been a huge move. Like we talked about, the average move of the ETFs per year is around 10 to 11%. All right, that's your average gain per year. We've done more than that in the last 10 days. Okay, so can it keep going higher? Yes. Was today probably needing relief? Yeah. Can they bid this back up today? Yeah, of course they can. They can do whatever they want. We can only play this setup in front of us. All right, here comes the back test towards these 40s that we talked about. And if they reclaim PDC, then you're potentially in for a squeeze back up. Because we hit that big node, this big node here. All right, so I'm watching here now. And if we reclaim that, I will be done with shorts for the day. So into that opening range, like I said, there's an imbalance here up to 55. Didn't even get to that imbalance yet. So I'm still holding a runner at the moment. Trying to just give it a chance. Equal weight Qs are up, are they? Well, equal weight mag is down 0.69%. And that's what I'm watching more than anything. Buyer stepping in here at 20s. So he's trying to protect value area low now to get back up here into 64. So I'm about to be done with this if they start to reclaim here. Yeah, they're starting to protect those 20s. So they're protecting value area low. They're going to come back up to the 40s now and try and fill these imbalances. So about to be done with this on the runner, which is fine. It means I'm only going to lock in 2,500 or something on my Lucid account. We can always have another go at it. If they shove up aggressively and trap buyers, we can have another go at it. I feel like ES has got to get back into its New York VWAP and PDC and then see what happens up there. Okay, here's the move into the start of the imbalances. And if they start to reclaim the opening range, they're going to come and test PDC. So they've reclaimed value. So these sellers down here were stuck. That 37s was the level. Sellers got stuck under 37s. They held. There's the relief up. What happens now becomes important. If we come back inside, this can happen today. Still sell side pressure overall for the morning session, but we're rebalancing some of these moves back up now. Like I said, I think ES needs to come and hit PDC and VWAP before we make a decision of what next. So I'm now out of that on the runner. I can show you. Just trading one account today. On my Lucid, there we go. That's what I made for the day. So we just wait and see now. We will wait and see if we get another setup. Do I use footprint candles? I do use footprint candles on NinjaTrader, yes. You can always use them here if you prefer to use them here, but yes, I use them here. Where is my... Right here, mate. All right, right here. My short saved you, Dino. What did it save you from? What did it save you from? Here comes ES. It's trying to backtest this PDC and VWAP. This is what's key here. These backtests are going to be key here. And the volume shelf really starts at 66s right up here. And if we start squeezing through, like I said, I'd be done with it. If we start holding this sort of volume area up here and basing, then they're going to have an attempt to get back to the highs today. So that could be the pullback over on the H1, right? Because if we zoom out on the H1, right? So today this was the move for the last few sessions. Think about this. Yesterday we did that flag break, and then we did that, and then today finally was a backside move into here. That's probably 50% of this range. If I can find a fib here from the low to the high. Do you want to play ball? Not quite. 1/3%, which is a bull flag territory. So we just have to see now if they offer a second leg down into here to this node, or maybe even here, Or if they rebid this back up, if they hold this, you see you get that inverted head and shoulders, and we go back to continuation type setup. But I'd be sell side until we reclaim everything. But it's just whether, for me, I was already in it, so I've cut, and we can think about a new position if it sets up. Would I target? Where would you target longs from 300? Where would I target longs from 300? Oh, where would I? If you're long from 300 now, you mean? I'd be paying myself straight away into this. All right. You want to be paying yourself a chunk into this. If you can't find acceptance through this, then this is a pullback, right? So this is key here. So if you took these longs down here, you want to be paying yourself into this level here. And then you want to see, I'd pay myself a little bit more into 400. And if you find acceptance on over 400, you can think about high of day. But you definitely, if you paid yourself, if you took this move here, this is a counter trend move on the day currently. You want to be paying yourself into this level and then waiting to see. All right, so you can afford this to come back into here if you're long from down here. Right, and then if you get through this, great. But you just respect the structure, right? There's your PDC. There's your volume. All right, respect the volume. Pay yourself some into that because there's no guarantees that we do this. You've got this move here. It's a decent move for that pullback. It needs to develop now. Any imbalances yet left? Yeah, there's one more left up to 68.75. There's one left up here into here. That's the last one left. And then through that, obviously there's a ton up here from this morning. Okay, here's ES. So ES joined the party here into PDC and VWAP, like we talked about. Now, it might very well get stuck here, and you might see a resale back down to 70.50. This is sort of decision point for the market. Some of the market's starting to find the bid. So Google, Meta, Microsoft, all green on the day now. Lagging behind, Apple 1.62% down, Amazon 1.34% down, Google flat, Meta flat, red to green, green to red, flat. Microsoft 0.75% up, Nvidia 0.75% down, Tesla 1.5% down. As a whole, as an equally weighted mag 7, we are 0.5% down on the day. All right, so this is the decision point here. So some of you might want to be positioning short versus this. All right, because we broke down and came back in. I'm going to wait to see if we do something like this for the sell, and then I'm going to respect this area here. I'm going to take some scalps out here and then try and hold runners again for the same thing if we see this move. You want to see a big negative delta to go short. You mean move from positive to negative? Yeah. I mean, we're still printing up. Delta's good. And we've still got room to move higher at the moment. This is the kind of area of interest. But obviously, if we reclaim, remember, we're bullish overall. This can be the pullback leg finished. It all depends how they act up here. That's a big squeeze. So short's probably getting a little bit caught here. Lifting up, and there's big bulls up into this level. So here is key because these bulls have really forced their way up here. That's a big stop hunt on the shorts. And do they hold price over 60s now? Because they just stop hunted a lot of shorts there. There's a seller at 85, but again, this is going back to like what we saw the last few days. Another stop hunt up there into 85. Now the sellers are coming back in. So here's the start of the battle. 60 to 85 currently the battle. So we've popped, I don't know, 300 odd stops between 65 and 85 there. And this is the battle zone. We just have to wait and see now. Here we go. So stops popped under that 65 now. Starting to perk my interest now. We'll see. Who's this blowing up my phone? That's my friend in Austin who's he wants me to come and move, so he just sent me this. Like, I got you a coffee ready for breakfast. Yeah. Desperate for me to move there. Strong rejection there. Yeah, it's strong rejection, but you're still like, it's at an interesting level here. Remember, we're back inside of this node at the moment. They can still protect this now. I'm trying to let it develop a little bit. We're back inside this. I want to be careful inside that node. Absorb the buyers. I mean, it was just a stop run, but yeah, I mean, you can see it. The break of 65 all the way up to 85 was a stop run. That was short sellers getting stopped out. You can see it on the tape. So we'll see here, like, how we act at PDC again here. At the moment, like, we're still inside of the opening range. Remember, you're bullish overall. We hit a lot of the downside targets. It just depends whether they want to come and retest this now. If they do sell this and retest this and buy a step back in, that'll be your first higher low, but we'll see. At the moment, it's holding up pretty well. Imagine how hot it is for Brit. I mean, I'm well accustomed to it now. I've been here 6.5 years. That last pop just got sold into 70s. Tempted to put a piece on here. This is looking a little bit better. I just want these sellers to move down from 90s. This is, you hear me repeat myself in the last few days. I don't like the sellers just staying up high and lifting. All right, so we're not actually seeing much sell pressure. We're not seeing guys walk down. This is like the last few days. So if there's no sellers present after we've had the morning move, I don't want to do it. I'm just looking for these guys from 90s to start coming down. Starting to see them come to 70s now. I want to see a few more. Here's your opening range. Come on, guys, at 90s. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Here's the opening range. So I'm looking for pops to fail now. I want to be careful. If they set a high low here, lower time frame, I will just cut. And I'm playing with house money, and I'm not going to give it room. Good from ES. Watching this shelf and this low volume node. Don't want them to support this. So I'd like a pop to fail to get in, and then I want us to flush through this low volume node. Here we go. Not really seeing a pop to fail to get any size on. Nothing notable. I've got a little piece on. We need to move under 34s and 30s. We need to respect that level, unfortunately. And if we start breaking under that, we're going to respect the 300 evens and then 287s from this morning. So we want to respect 30s here. If you are short in this, you want to respect this, as in you want to probably pay yourself a little bit. And if we start flushing through this, it'd be really good. I'd like to get some more size on here if possible. See, we had to be patient. We went further than we probably should have on NQ, but we didn't in ES. Is why I'm always looking over here. This was good. All right, we talked about down here. I said it probably needs to come back and test PDC and the breakdown point. Here's where we broke down from. Here's PDC. Here's VWAP. All right, so this ES has been much better guide today than maybe yesterday. All right, so this is the big level now. These 27s. Can we see a flush back down? And if we can, here we go. Sellers piling in here. We need to see a break now because they're getting heavy here. And we want to get down to 87s as possible. And under, or sorry, we're going to get down to 302s and then 87s. And then under that, we can try and hold some more size. ES already at that 70-50 high volume node. So I want to be careful here. So if you want to pay yourself around this point, a little piece, you can. Like I said, structurally, we need to be careful into here, right? So we pay ourselves a bit here because they can lift back up and test this. Hopefully they resell that back down. If not, this will be the higher low that we talked about, I don't know, 5 minutes ago. And again, ES just hit this level here. So options traders pinning the market at the moment, deciding what we're doing. All right, here's the move back up. Hopefully they resell this. Anywhere from 45s to 60s, you'd want to see them resell it. So that last drop down caught a bit of a seller at the low, so we need to get him back in the money. So around this low volume node, we want to start letting go of 24s and breaking down. It's a good pop to sell there into the orb. That's really nice into this opening range. Just see if we can see follow through. If we can, we're still thinking about that first red day setup. We're just trying to respect what's happened in front of us. 70.50, big level on ES. If we break that, 70.45. If we break that, we then have room. We've got the VWAP just underneath, and then we can think about the 70.10s for an extension. We'll see. See, this is the level that the bid is trying to keep that seller trapped. I think we're going to break it, though. It's just, it really depends. If we can let go of 70.50 on ES, I think we're going to break this and see that move to 300s and then 87s. Under 87s, we can create more excess. Come on, break this guy. Come on. Come on. Let's extend value area low, lower. Come on. Come on. Come and test 300 or 302. It's only 20 points. Come on, market. Come on, market. Here we go. Come on, market. Come down to 302s and then show me how you're going to act there. Come on. Another 10 points is all I'm looking for to see how you act. They don't want to do it. It's that 70.50 on ES. It's the level. Can still move lower as long as they reject the opening range here. Otherwise, you lift up to 60. So you're in a battle here between timeframes. Remember, they can set a higher low here. Ideally, they don't set that because we're short side in it, but they can. This is why I said you've got to respect the volume that we created and the structure that we created earlier. So here's the move back to opening range. That 70.50 is such a big level on ES. You can see it constantly all day. Big, big, big gamma level. Love to see it just break underneath and break 45s and let go. It would give us the flush that would really get us paid today, but we're not seeing it. So we've got to respect what's happening. Fix breaking to the upside. Yeah, it's trying. It's trying to get a continuation over 19s. If it can keep lifting, it's going to go for 20s, but we'll see. It's filled its gap now. There was a gap that was left Tuesday. And it's filled like a little imbalance gap. It can keep going, but it's into a big level here on the VIX. I'd say anywhere from where we are from 1882 to 1922. So it's like a 40 tick or 40 point gap. 40 point gap. If we get through that, then it can look for the 20s, and that will really give us downside. But you know, ES has got to let go of this 50 level. Am I muted? I don't think so. Bloody well hope not. Looks good. Letting go of ES now under the 70.50. So you're looking for 45s on ES, and if it lets go of that, we might get a flush moment. We would like NQ to start joining here. Everything's now red other than Microsoft. Remember, we paid ourselves some into here. So if you wait for this break, like I talked about, I'm not going to short this. I'm going to wait for this, right? And we're just wait and see. We pay ourselves a little bit into here to be careful, and we'll see if we can get this flush. And remember, the level we're looking at, 302 and 87. All right, 302 and 87, and under 87 we will make new low of day. So that's why I'm watching those levels. Here we go towards the 302s. Oh, can we get some follow through? Any chance? Any chance today of some follow through? If the candle's red but the delta's positive, what's happening? It means there's sellers absorbing it. If you've got positive delta, it means you've got aggressive buyers. And if the candle's red, it means you've got very, very big passive sellers absorbing that delta, looking to make the market move lower. Which is what we currently have in this 5-minute candle. We've got time still for this to develop. It's got another minute left. We're seeing passive selling in this candle, basically. Everything above this candle so far, but we'll see. It's still got time to close. Yeah, they're not willing to let go of this right now. Back above the 70-50. You can see it's very, very, very sensitive level down here. Very, very sensitive level into that towards those 302s. We got a low of that of 11s. I was looking for 02s. How can you join the Discord? You need to do the 20-hour course. We don't do it for monthly fees. We don't do it for free. It's for students who do the course. We don't let prop firm people in there. We don't do anything. It's just students. What's my opinion about standard deviation? I mean, I use it on the daily. As you know, it's why I said we're overextended on the daily. We're into 2 standard deviation on the daily in terms of Bollinger Bands. I don't use fixed standard deviation anymore. I used to use fixed standard deviation, especially for small caps, because we used to trade a max of 3 standard deviations. But once they bought 0 DTEs and started giving people free stimulus checks, we started doing 4 and 5 and 6 standard deviations. So I don't use them anymore, but I do use them for the Bollinger Bands, which is basically 2 standard deviation from a 20-day is what your Bollinger Band is. We don't really like to move outside of that. So like we can talk about that now if you want. We don't really like to move beyond 2 standard deviations. Here's 2, here's 2. All right, here's 2, here's 2. Here's mean, right? That's neutral level, 20-day. That's it. So I don't like looking for longs when we're at there. I don't like looking for shorts under here. Just a basic rule to keep you safe. Doesn't mean we can't get going. It just means I don't like looking for them. Okay, filling some of these imbalances up here. If they break back through PDC, then there's no follow through today. But hopefully they stay heavy in these like little pokes up here to fill these imbalances. And you've got to be careful now because we've set a higher low, but we haven't set a higher high. So I'm still sell side versus this, looking for this. But if we do this, I'm out. So that's 70-50 on ES, man. Massive, 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 massive level. VIX looks good. See if we can keep going up here through the 20s. Yeah, through 22 pivot would be good on VIX. If you can get through that and continue to catch a bid, then it's got a chance to get up to 20s. But ES is just unwilling to let go of anything. And Microsoft's holding this market up really well today. In fact, let me just have a quick peek at it. Yeah, it's a nice turnaround off the lows on Microsoft. So it might need to come and check VWAP again on Softy. Let me just check all these. Tesla turning around off the lows, trying to get back to VWAP. Nvidia turned around off the lows, is above its VWAP. Microsoft turned around off the lows, trying to get back to VWAP. Meta turned around off the lows, rejected VWAP, is in the midpoint right now. Google turned around off the lows, coming back to VWAP. Amazon just rejected its VWAP after turning around off the lows. Apple, a little bounce off the lows, got nowhere near VWAP. So we're trend down in most of these. It's just some of them starting to want to back test VWAP, which we've already done in the Qs and the ETFs, but some of them wanting to do the same thing. Yeah, and that 50 level, you can see it on ES. It is massive. It is massive. There's a much nicer chart now if you're on ES. But this level here is key. Backtest VWAP, backtest where we break down from, backtest PDC, back into here. They're absorbing the bid down here. They will not let go of the 50s, and they're going to come back up again until they make their mind up. Now, there's no continuation under here today, so you just have to respect that. It's unwilling to give a continuation right now, the market. And if this is the higher low, like we talked about, and they reclaim this, the squeeze is on above here, All right, this is your range for the day. If they start breaking above 400, like I said, the squeeze is on. It just depends what they want to do. But that is a possibility today. You cannot deny it's possible. Do I ever use fibs in my strategy? Yeah, definitely. We already marked out the fib today. We've pulled back to 33%, which could be a bull flag on the higher time frame. 50% fib of the leg to leg currently will be much, much lower. It's going to take us basically right back to the 200s. All right, so if we do a 50% pullback from Globex low yesterday to Globex high, was it Globex high? Was it whatever it is, high of week? Then 50% pullback would take us back down to the 200s. Yeah, we're nowhere near either side of the IB. You're right, IB now set. We're inside value. So it's possible we just rotate and rotate. So IB high here, IB low here, value here on the session. This is where we're pinned in right now. If they find acceptance above, they're going to try and come up here. If they find acceptance below, they're going to try and dive down to here. And in here, I'm becoming less and less interested in the market. Less and less interested. Technically, it's an edge sell here until they reclaim it. But we've had the main move. It's unwilling to move lower right now. And that's all I'm observing. This market's unwilling to move lower, which means the pullback leg might be done. It might be that that's it. You know, it might be like, hey, we're done with it. No, I'm not still short. Like I said, if we reclaim, I'm out. Here comes the lift. Non-stop bid again. No sellers, and the sellers lifting higher, just like the last few days. So they're done selling at the moment. They're unwilling to sell at these levels at the moment. They're just like, no. We're not going to move down. There has not been much selling on the tape other than a little bit this morning. There really hasn't. If we just take a look, we haven't really seen much on the tape. And these are not exactly huge lots. But, you know, the biggest selling came in this morning up here. But you can see we saw absorption down here at the lows. We've reclaimed value. We're back into VPOC. Value area high up here. If we find acceptance over value area high, we're going to... Oh, you absolute bastard. It's the worst thing about Ninja is when that happens. Is you can't do Control Z. It's my biggest gripe with Ninja. There's no Control Z. What's this level? 404s. I'm going to move this up. 404s. There we go. Can get Dom Pro. Yeah, I have Dom Pro, mate. What do you think? Time and sales is there, or are you talking to someone else? Rocks. Time and sales is above me. You can see what I call tape. That's the time and sales. I have it limited to 2 lots because I don't want to see 1 lots because it's too much. I have 2 lots as my minimum order. IB to VWAP might play out on ES. Yeah, but you haven't actually retested the IB since we've only just said it like 2 minutes ago. Do I see an inverted head and shoulder? Well, I can see what you're talking about. We haven't set it up yet. You're talking about this. Right, more of a quasi, I'd say, because the shoulder would be here. Right, more of a quasi. It's trying. It just depends what happens up here. I'm not long in it. I'm just neutral now. I'll wait and see like how they act up here and how they act up here. It might be that they just turn the boosters on. It's possible, but I'm just going to wait and see now. Is Bookmap good? Worth getting? I mean, I don't know, mate. Like, do I think it's good? Yes. Do I like it? Yes. Is it worth it for me? Yes. Is it worth it for you? I don't know. Like, you might be comfortable with footprint charts. You might be comfortable with just candlestick charts. Like, you might have Sierra or be using something else where you don't need it. Deep charts or something. I don't know. like saying, "Are Arsenal good?" I mean, the answer to that at the moment is no. Is the clear answer to that. They are. I'm so like. I shouldn't talk about it on here. It's a trading stream, but I'm so pissed off with Arteta. I think he's made the most clumsy. I tweeted Arsenal about it. The most clumsy mistake ever in the Carabao Cup and then the FA Cup, and that's what cost you. Momentum is everything. And you want to go and put out a subpar team in a final and lose that final, you watch what it does to the dressing room. It kills the momentum. It kills the confidence. And since that, guess what? We've played shit. So he has to learn and understand that. He should know that he was a player. Momentum is everything. Oh, mate, I actually feel for Spurs. I love hating you guys, but if you go down this year, then I've got a season without taking a piss out of you. If we're not beating City, we're in trouble. Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. Totally agree, mate. What do I use for the M5 where I'm seeing buyers and sellers? It's just footprint. You can use free order flow on NinjaTrader, guys. Like, there's videos on my YouTube on how to get it. If you want to use order flow, if you want to see the footprint, if you want to see, you can use volumetric charts on for free. You can use big order lots for free. It's all for free on NinjaTrader. If you're trading with a prop firm, there's videos on my YouTube on how to set it up. Where exactly do I see the lot sizes? Well, both Bookmap and Footprint. Okay, still ES coming into 70.50 and holding. Relative strength now coming into the Qs. So we've shifted. Now we've got relative strength in the Qs. We had relative weakness this morning. Now they've shifted. ES now 0.12% down on the day. NQ up 0.02% on the day. So we've seen that shift, rotation back into tech. And it would be softy holding this market up. There we go. I'm going to continue to lift it now. Come and test that value area high and pre-market value area low. That might be it for the day. Unless they reject up here, I don't see another trade. For me, I'm certainly not going to be long in this grey box. How did I learn to read the market like this? Time. Just time. There's no substitute for time. No one taught me how to read order flow. It was just time on the market. Yeah. Divergence of the ES, yeah. We've had the same all week. Like I said, OPEX can often cause this. Right, VIX failing to get above that 1922s, right? It's failing 1909s. It's pulling into the 19s. It's a big level now, that over-under on 19s for VIX. If it starts failing 19s and coming back in to its morning session, ES will probably, as long as there's no ridiculous divergence again, start to lift. If we base above 19s, if that's a breakout and hold above 19s, it's going to look for 1922s and then 20s. Right, that's where we are. We're coming right back to the upside. We've got a big thick node here. They're trying to lift up to 400. 400 is a big over-under for sentiment right now for the day, I would say. Because if you get back into that, it's this. Sorry, I'm just looking at H1. Yeah, if you get back into the 400, you're into that Globex range. So it's like the big level. Sellers will want to defend it. Buyers will want to get back into it and cause a squeeze. So rejecting 24-hour VWAP so far, but then it's coming back down to PDC. You can see this thick node here is important now. This node here, this is important. And the edge. So if you're a range trader, all right, you can think about shorts here back to the midpoint. And you can think about longs here back to the midpoint. You haven't got much range to play with today, but that's it. I'm not a range trader, so I'm not thinking about anything at this point. Okay. If you're new to the chat, I would advise you to read the description and read what Nightbot posts. going to turn this aircon off. I'll be right back. Alex, did you get the late morning dip for big TPs? I took the sell side yesterday. I'm going to have to find it. I didn't flip long. I was done with the day afterwards. This was the play. Right, this is what we were looking for. That breakdown. So entry was here. Lower high set. Piled in. Started adding on the way down. So covered some and then re-added on pops. All right, SPY into view up, just calling out where it was going. This is what the call we were looking for a breakdown all the way down sub 6-1s. There we go. That was it. That was the move right here. And then we were out, and then lots of guys took the long back up. Is my course only for options traders? Well, I don't trade options, and I don't see. I worry about what you've just said. You trade ICT. Okay, that's cool. But what's that got to do with the product that you're trading? Understanding market dynamics has nothing to do with the product that you're trading. Okay, I worry for you if you don't understand that. It's not being an asshole. I just worry for you if you don't understand that. You could trade ICT and you could trade futures. You could trade options. You could trade small caps. You could trade anything if it made sense, if the teaching was good. Markets work the same way. I have no thoughts on deep charts, like I said yesterday. I've never traded with them, have no thoughts. What's a good stop when you're doing a challenge? 30 points. What's the ATR? Where's the trade no longer valid? You can't have a fixed stop. How can you have a fixed stop when the ATR is different every day? Some days 1 minute candles are 50 points. Other days they're 5 points. That's good. If you're profitable trading ICT, that's good. I'm not criticizing anyone. I'm saying that how you learn to trade has nothing to do with the vehicle you are trading. Look, I would trade small caps exactly the same way as I'm trading this. Small caps, large caps, FX, equities. I don't care. Mid caps. It's a market. All markets are the same. There are some slight variants of rules for small caps because they are way more about traps. It's funny you said I haven't got my coffee. I just boiled it, so I'm going to come right back. All right, back to view up again it goes. Into this grey box, you can see the rotation of this grey box again. And ES holding that 70-50 again. You can see the importance of that high volume node of 70-50. If they break out here, they're going to try and test the 400 that we've talked about. Market's gone to sleep now because we've got divergence between the markets now again. So ES holding 70.50, failing to break down, but also failing to make a new high. So stuck in no man's land. VIX is pulling back under the 19s like we talked about, and we probably want to test the 400s here before it makes a decision of what's what. What's caught a bid? Meta's now caught a bid, 0.25% up. And Microsoft's still holding the market up, 1% up. Google now gone green. Rest of the market still red. So divergence across the mag as well. So I thought today might be a complete no trade day. At least we got one trade. We'll see what else sets up now. We're coming into this. This is basically Globex, right? Or overnight value area low is here. How we operate here in the value area high. This is a high confluence area where range traders will want to sell. Whether they're going to sell today or not is another thing, but that's where range traders will want to be selling, somewhere in here. If they start to reclaim the 400s, we're very thin from this morning's print and we can just run right up to 40.50. We've talked about that all morning. So range traders are probably going to be here, and if they're not here, then you're going to see a squeeze out. Or even if they are here and big bulls step in and we start to rotate this market back up, you'll see a squeeze out. So this is the level where we are right now. And if they don't defend this, you'll probably see a high of day. And then you'll probably see these levels start to be ground out as the day goes on. I'm not going to touch anything in this grey box. I'm sticking to my rules, right? I'm not touching inside this. I would need to wait and see this. All this back down now. Divergence at play. Massive divergence at play between the two. Tyson trade will play out. What? Well, we're nowhere near there, yes. So you know, I'm going to say this. I'm really worried about you guys now because I've talked about the IB trade a lot and we've traded it a lot. Some of you call it when it's not there and we're not there. And I have people being like, did you take the IB trade when there's no IB trade setting up? Or like we're 200 points higher and I fade it in. Oh, it's great IB trade. It's not an IB trade. An initial balance trade is an initial balance trade. It's not a made up number. I really worry about some of you. Like I really, really worry about some of you of like, what do you think it is? Like an initial balance trade would be a look above and a fail back to mean or a hold and base for an extension. It would not be anything in here. No, we're nowhere near either side. There's no IB trade there, okay? There's nothing there right now. We're not anywhere near it. IB was long ago for NQ. No, it wasn't. We set it at 10:30. We haven't come anywhere near it since. Like I said, you can't trade the IB until after 10:30 because we don't set it until 10:30. And then you need to wait for us to come to an extreme, which we haven't done. Like I said, I worry about some of you. Like considering there's a big free video on my YouTube on how to do it, I worry about some of you. You meant there was no trade on it. Yes. Well, we haven't come to it, so there's no trade. All right, ES interview up in PDC again. It just feels like a D-shaped profile right now. No B, no P, just a D. That hourly is a strong reaction. Shame we didn't hit previous day value area high or previous day point of control. I would have loved a bid this morning of previous day point of control if we could have come down there. It's a really nice area. But they didn't want to let it get there. They're too bullish to keep moving it higher. So PDC here about to be tagged on the ES. Google got just gone red to green as well. Market trying to lift. And like we said, above 400, this can squeeze up to high of day if it wants. So if range traders fail to protect 400 now, this can squeeze up to high of day. My rule this morning is the same rule I'm playing right now. I'm not trading in here. I will not trade in here. I do not care. I'm not doing it. Can do what it wants. That's my rule. You guys can do what you want. I will not trade this grey box. Way too dangerous. again, trying to be calm. If you're new to chat, do me a favor. Read the Nightbot, read the description down below before you ask me to keep giving you questions which are clearly answered. Please. If you keep asking the same things, whether you're trolling or saying the same things without taking the time to read, I'm just going to remove you from chat. It's really simple, because at this point, I don't know if you're a troll saying the same thing over again or you're just lazy. But either way, you won't be welcome here if you keep doing the same thing. I'm just being polite here. I'm giving up my free time to help you. I'm asking you to just do the basics. Just do the basics. All right, ES rejecting 24-hour VWAP. We're back inside New York VWAP to 24-hour VWAP. That rotation. All right, so the ES, this is the same thing we saw the last few days, where it gets stuck between the two VWAPs for a while before it makes its decision. Pullbacks are now starting to absorb around value area high. All right, we've moved value area high up. This is the edge where sellers should have defended. They didn't defend. They might well get caught for this move now, because this is starting to be defended. We've moved value higher. So any dip into here which holds, bulls will try and cause this squeeze. I would say you cannot be sell side until there's a clear break underneath this now, because this can keep going higher and higher and higher for a grind. It can absolutely do that. It looks very much like it wants to do that. Like we said, reclaim 400, you probably see high of day because we're so thin up here. Right, sellers had the chance to defend here. They did a horrid job of it. Like I said, I'm not going to defend that range today. Yes, just stuck between the two. VIX coming back down now, like we said. Failed above 19s, coming back in. So bulls will want to protect 400 to 380s here. That's their level that they want to protect. If they can't protect it, it's going to be a problem. Let's just measure out this morning session into this golden pocket here. Right, bulls will want to protect this. Failing to protect that, you'll see a resell. Yeah, still between the two VWAPs. It is carbon copy of the last 2 weeks right now. Alex, trading a 50K end of day account for Apex. What would you recommend for MNQ? 2 to 3 right now is all you need. You can add into the winners, but 2 to 3 as a start position is plenty. Can I show gamma levels above 500? Yeah, 510, 555, 695. And 675. That's all you've got right now. Just got the course. Nice, Jose. Looking forward to working with you. All right, so you see buyers trying to defend here like we just talked about. And we just have to see. I don't like what I'm seeing on ES right now. And I haven't liked it for the last few days, the divergence. I cannot wait for Monday next week, to be quite honest. I want to get through all this bullshit OPEX and just get to a week where we get back into sync, where the market starts to trade directionally together. How high do I think it can go when it passes 26,485 gamma level? Do you have a crystal ball? Are you talking about today, or are you talking about in general? Like, over what time frame? If we hold today's low, the maximum move I would say we probably do today would be 710. If they actually broke out and held, I doubt we do that. But if they did, I'd say the maximum move today is 710. OPEX is options expiry, guys. So you have your dailies, your weeklies, your monthlies all expiring this week. All right. So market maker's job is to make sure everyone loses their money. Where do you think most people were positioned in this market coming into this week? They were positioned short. They had puts. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to make sure those all lose. Nvidia's pumping. Yeah, it is. It's coming up to its PDC. So it's trying to get back to its close price of yesterday. It's quite a big level, this, as we trade into it. Basically 99s. Through 99s, that 200 high. It's holding pretty well. ES rejecting VWAP again. So stuck again between 24-hour and New York VWAP. It's just stuck and pinned again. Anyone invested in Allbirds? What was that, man? If you were in long on Allbirds when it was a shoe company before they did the old small cap Fugazi, you know, I'd love to see how many warrants and offerings they've got at the market offerings right now. I would reckon it's fucking loads. It's the biggest small cap trap I've seen for a while. Let's have a look at that because that would be fun. I reckon it's fucking loads. Are they holding up today? No, they're not. All right, so birds, I guarantee you it had a ton of at the market offerings and warrants down here. All right, it was trading at 220, and then they went, hey, we're no longer a shoe company. We're now an AI company. We're changing into an AI company. Of course you are. All right, boom. I guarantee you they try and do a T+2 here. They will try and pin this. All right, do one more extension, and then you're going to see an at-the-market offering, and this thing give the whole fucking thing back. It's oldest trick in the book, guys. It's literally the oldest trick in the book. They're horrible. Horrible with it. Small cap fugazi. Oh, it is a small cap fugazi. It's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. It's the oldest trick in the book, guys. It's probably... I would bet if I had a look at the board, it's all Chinese. I guarantee you. In fact, I'm going to have a look just for shits and giggles. I bet you it's Chinese. Oh, look. Chief Executive, Michael Washinishushi. Oh, no way. No way have we got that as the CEO, as that is his name. Who would have guessed it? That's not me being racist, by the way. That's me understanding how this happens. Always the way. Again, go and watch the Chinese hustle. Go and watch it. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm not joking. I'm serious. I just looked it up. Here. Says it all. That says everything I need to know. What was the float on it? Clearly a low floater. This is why you have to be careful when you're trading small caps. Let me just have a little look for you. So, It had a 19% short float. That's probably just enough. What is the actual float? Market cap 113 mil. That's obviously gone up as of today. Where is the float? %17% institution owned. Where's the float? I can't see it. Why won't it show me the float on this? That's weird. 6 mil. 6 mil float. Yeah. Teeny. Teeny. Is there any YouTube trader who trades news on these small caps and he talks about those Chinese scams? There is another YouTube trader. There'll be loads of traders that trade it. I mean, anyone at IU will trade it. All those guys. Ripster's probably trading it, or probably looking for a fade in a few days. He was probably long in it, knowing Rips. Not Rips that you know, Ripster. Yeah, still struggling up here in front of 65. But like I said, grey box, I'm not touching. And I said to you, bids, buyers will want to hold this. That's what you just saw. All right, they're trying to get this move now. All right, so they're trying to hold this node. They're back inside of Globex value. All right, and they're trying to print this back up to the top side now. It's a leave alone for me. How much is my weekly P&L? I don't know percentage-wise. It's not consistent. I don't set targets like that. It is whatever it is. I'll judge myself on gains per year. What do I think about the PDT rule? It being removed, you mean? I mean, you want my honest opinion on what I think about that? You want my honest opinion? My honest opinion is those in charge will do anything they can possibly do to take your money away from you. And zero DTEs, the removal of the PDT rule, the exchanges for crypto, those are always for them to take your money. That's what I honestly think about it. All right, because 95% of people fail. If you can now just stick $100 in the market, you will see degenerate teenagers start to gamble silly money and get addicted and lose money, just like they would betting on the horses or games. That's what I think about it. That's why they've done it. It's got nothing to do with, it's unfair to not be able to have to put 25,000 in. It's more, how much more liquidity can we put into the market and take away from the weak hands? That's exactly, if you want my real honest opinion, that's what it is. The best thing, because the truth is with the markets, your best friend in the markets is time. All right, your best friend with the markets is time. What do I mean by that? If you took leaps on options, if you're positioned well and you're in a good stock, you've got time for that contract to go in your favor. If you're buying good discounted levels on swing positions in good companies, not in shit companies, in good companies, as long as you are not using too much margin, you have time to let that develop. So, for example, I was a little bit early trading Netflix this year. All right, but we started to add into it because, like I talk about, I will DCA into swing positions because they are different than trading anything else. So we were long into these key levels on Netflix. I think I started here, might have started up here somewhere into these nodes. and any form of undercut and gap fill, we started being more aggressive. So I think I started here. Once we undercut that, I added in here, and I could give this time because this is a deep discount and it's likely that we were going to get back to here. All right, so in a swing, I can let that work out. You don't need the PDT rule or PDT rule, because PDT rule is what, 5 trades per week? Is that right? It's what it used to be. Well, if you're a swing position, you only need 1 trade per few months. All right, and that's where you make the most money. Scalping is hard. Reading lower time frame price action is hard. We have volatility come into the market. Scalping's hard. Swinging is easier. So if they wanted people to be able to make money with less money, they would just leave the PDT rule as it is. That's my opinion. That's me. That's my opinion. Same with why they brought the 0 DTEs in. All right, you see guys making massive gains with 0 DTEs, but what you're not seeing is the retail traders losing all their money all the time. Swing with margin. I wouldn't advise swinging with margin, no. Cash account and just grow it. Margin should be used for day trading only, and even then you want to be careful, in my opinion. All right, so through the grey box, they held this grey box, and they're going to keep lifting now, like we talked about. They're coming for the top side. All right, so they held this. They held the 50s. They got back above. They've left sellers caught. They've held this high volume node. So if you're trading this long, it's good for you. Like I said, I'm going to ignore this box. It's what I'm trying to do today, is just ignore that box and let it do whatever it needs to do, either side of it, and then we can think about what's what. Any thoughts on leveraged ETFs? What, like SQQ and TQQQ? I mean, they're good products, but again, I think they're better products to be day trading, because they're not only leveraged. A lot of people don't understand. They're not only leveraged, they're pinned towards the options. So it's why you won't always see the same kind of moves. It won't necessarily mimic exactly the gain that you'd see on QQQ. It's not literally 3 times the size of the move on QQQ. It's also leveraged to the options or pinned to the options. So you want to, I think they're a good product for day trading. If you're going to actively day trade, maybe a little bit more than that, but they will eat up a huge amount of margin in your account if you're looking to swing it. How am I drawing the grey boxes? Well, this one here, all right, is volume from today that we built out, this high volume node. So that's your over under. Look, we broke down, we created the volume, we broke down from it. We came and tested it, we broke down from it. We came back to it, we held it. We broke above it, we held it. It's SNR, right? This one is Globex. So in here, all right, the bottom side of this is value area low from overnight, and the top side of this is value area high from overnight. Like I said, range traders should have defended that, but we're in a very bullish market, and it wouldn't surprise me to see it move higher, which is what we're seeing. So we're coming into value area high from overnight. If we run this, we've got some options levels to aim for, we've got Globex high to aim for, and then we're looking into the next block on the daily, which takes us back to Jan 27, and then you're thinking about the all-time highs at that point. Do I buy crypto? I buy the ETFs, right? So I've been long for the last month or two in iBet. Actually, it's not technically iBet. It's because I couldn't get iBet in my UK account. So I will tell you what the ticker actually is. If I can see it. It's Bitcoin Core, CBTC. It's the same as iBet, but it's like the UK equivalent. I'm up 15 and a bit % on that. All my swings are up big right now because the market's lifted. So Apple, I'm up 23.5%. Netflix, I'm up just under 25%. Amazon, I'm up 15%. AMD, I'm up 67%. Meta, I'm up 17.5%. Oracle, I'm up almost 30%. Robinhood, I'm up 20%. Microsoft, I'm up 6.8%. iBet, or whatever it's called, CBTC, I'm up 15-ish %. My Vanguard fund, I'm up 8% on. Nike, I'm up 3% on. I bought back in on that this week when I saw Tim Cook rebuying it after we reflushed. So I cut the first lot, started to get back into it now. I'll be looking to hold that for about 3 years if possible on Nike. I want it to pull back in and offer me reloads. I've got bids out on the market right now on SoFi, Webull, and Vanguard S&P fund, which I haven't been filled in. I've got bids out just waiting for the market to come back in. All right, here we go. Squeeze then. Squeeze it is. All right, so next level. If you did take this long here that we talked about, this dip and hold, your next level is Globex, and then it's just a squeeze and lift. Can I explain how I add to my positions? It's always the same thing. You need the market. Do you mean for swing or not? Right, so if I want to see market prove it to me. So like if I would say I was long here this morning, I might put a feeler on. Once we break and hold the next level, right, I'm adding back in here. I'm trimming profits here. And if this pull back and hold this, maybe I'd add again here. And it's the same for swings. Except for swings, I am adding on DCAs. It's slightly different because say we're deep discount. Let's just pretend this is the Netflix move, which was like, 40+%, 40% down, or maybe more. All right, I don't mind adding into a big block here because I'm confident the market will recover on a company which is good, where the PE ratio is not big enough. I'm comfortable adding in on DCA. It's very different to day trading, very different in that sense. Right, overextension, they're coming for Globex. They're coming for OPEX. Nvidia's coming for that 200. Do I have a specific amount that you add or take on TP levels? How do I size my runners? It all depends on the probability of that move, right? So like if we've overextended, like if we've come into a big level, I'm paying myself a lot of money into these levels and I'm holding runners down here. If we pop up and I added there, all right, and I'm looking for this, I'm not the same size now. All right, and you have to watch your core. You don't want to add heavier than your original position. You don't want to move your core position down or up too much. Like, for example, I can't remember, someone said they were long 300 today. All right. Let's say there were like 5 contracts long here. They don't want to then add like 10 contracts long here and move their core position all the way up here. You want your core just to be slowly moving up so that you're comfortably in the money. Right, getting close to taking Globex here. You want to be, if you are long, this is a big profit-taking zone for you up here. Nvidia coming into that 200 gamma wall as well. So you might reach max extension up here soon. Maybe a pop through and then a pull back in, back towards these 417s. We'll see. This is value area high from overnight as well, remember. So there's probably a mean reversion trade setting up at some point if you really want to do it. You'd be watching the IB plays now because we've finally broken through. So you'd be watching the IB to hold. And that kind of zone is IB high, New York open, that kind of level. Do they hold that for the extension play? Or are we going to see a rotation back to the midpoint? Ideally, they come and run the Globex high on at least one of the indexes either way. Yes, I took 500 profit and buzzing. You're such a G. Nice, man. So you've got long in this dip. Very nice. Like I said, like you need to trade your book, not my book. It's really important. Like you'll see me so many times be like, I just cracked my knee. So many times say like, I'm not trading this. And sometimes I get frustrated or like yesterday was really hard for me because I wanted the long. I didn't see exactly what I wanted in ES and it felt like a big miss. That will happen from time to time. All right, so watching this, you want to see if they're willing to hold here now. For those of you who've already been long, are they willing to hold here? Remember, this is a big squeeze. It's a shame they haven't taken the liquidity up here. If they'd taken that, I'd be more willing to think about that mean reversion. The fact that they've left that is gross, but they've left it. And NQ's got a nasty, nasty, nasty habit of doing that at the moment, but you'd like to see it. There's not that much excess at the high, so I wouldn't say we're done. For today, I'd say there's probably one more attempt, but you want to watch IB high, New York open, and value area high down to 18 to see if they hold a bid there. How much I've made today? 2,700. I'm up today. Just trading one account today. All right, that's it. I'm actually really enjoying. Which prop firms are you guys enjoying the most? For me at the moment, I'm really enjoying TPT and Lucid. I'm really enjoying those, especially once I get past the buffers on TPT. Just like letting them work. Yeah. Yeah, TPT and Lucid for me have been really good. Still like Apex, but I think Apex is good for people getting their feet wet and like trying it. But I really like TPT and Lucid at the moment. Really, really, really like them. All right, here goes ES. It's trying to break out. So you might try and steal this liquidity higher like we talked about. Their sellers stacked up to 500. So it looks like they want to get to 500. So those of you who are long, who've been long from down this dip, right, there you go. There's the liquidity sweep. All right, so they're going to go for fives. And let's see now. You should be runners only now. You should have paid yourself into Globex because there's no guarantee of a move higher. All right, you should have paid yourself into this move. And you can see if they're just willing to extend it to like 510s and above now. How are we doing on the likes, folks? How are we even doing on the views here? How are we doing in general? It's been a good day. You should have made lots of money today on stream. Let's get those likes up. Yeah, so Funded Seat asked me to work with them, but they don't use, I've said to them, I'll work with them when they get NinjaTrader. Because at the moment they only work with, what's it called? That like online one. We can do it. I can work with Funded Seat. I'm concerned that they don't have NinjaTrader and Tradeify. Sorry, my brain's not working there. Tradeify, yeah, that's it. What happened to TPT cutting accounts accusing of bot trading? They reevaluated that. I think that whatever AI software they were using to do that was wrong, and they reimbursed everyone. They're still bidding here to try and force this move up. 500 is the level that they're looking for at the moment. But yeah, like I've been in talks with Funded Seat. I emailed them yesterday because I talked to a few, what should I call it? People that I trust. I know they're a newer firm. I'm very skeptical. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I think we talked about it last week. I'm very skeptical about using newer firms right now, especially when they don't have Tradeivate and NinjaTrader. It doesn't mean they're not good, but like I don't care about my affiliates as in the money. I care about not getting you guys, which is what happened. I feel terrible, which is what happened with funding ticks. All right, and it hurt me as well. It hurt me as well. So that's my main thing, right? I don't want to get you involved in a firm that rug pulls or doesn't pay out, or which is what funding ticks does. Which is surprising when you think about the size of funding pips, which just means they're not very nice people. Tradeify are great as well. Yeah, sorry, I should say Tradeify are great. All right, how are we doing for likes here? How are we doing for time? Let's get up to 1,000 likes, folks, so we can do a giveaway. No, I'm not going to make my own prop. No way. Not for me. They've got possibility of moving higher here today now that that H1 pullback's filled, but we just have to see how much more of an extension they've got up here. How much more juice have they got? You out? No, I'm good. I'll call you in a bit. The only firms I use are the ones down below on the screen, guys. I don't use anything else. All right, they're trying to bid these 70s here. Nvidia pulling back in. Nvidia probably wants that 200 for like a tag first. Just gonna use a bathroom here and I'll be right back. Okay, so they're looking for the 5 still. Bathroom squeeze, you guys were calling. Yeah, it's trying to lift. Do I have a swing trading course? No, it's exactly the same as I teach in the main course. Nothing changes, guys. Nothing changes. It's exactly the same. You're watching key structure, key volume levels, and key SMAs and EMAs. You're just looking at it on daily, weekly, and 4-hour charts, not on 1-minute charts and 5-minute charts. It's that nothing changes. Zero change. New my funded futures accounts just dropped. Did they? I have to check that out. Okay, here they come for 500s. Like I said, Nvidia's trying to get up to that 200 level where it peaked out yesterday. There is supply up there. If they break above that, it's got room, but this thing's trying to squeeze higher. Pullback's finished, and away we go. Now basing above Globex value area high, these 50s. So reclaim 50, so we're basing now above value area high from overnight. This is value area high from today. This is the key node that they needed to recover, which they did, and this is a grind up now. And they can go as high as they want to go now. If that was the dip on the hourly, if that's all they wanted to do, it's a shame. Where I was really willing to buy today, I would have loved it back into here, back into fair value. Also, it's a big node. Anything like this here, I wanted to be a buyer down here today. That was like the easiest, cheapest buy for me, where I'll be like, okay, I'm comfortable taking that. It's good risk. Can they squeeze to 520? Yeah, of course they can. They can do whatever they want. Where can I find the link to it? Sorry, I missed that. Link to what? Link to what? Yes, it will work on crypto. Everything works the same way, guys. I'm going to keep saying it until you guys finally understand. Markets work the same way. It doesn't matter what the market is, all right? Markets are markets. That's it, the end. It's the same as walking down your market to go and buy some beef. It all works the same way. There is no difference, none. It's then just choosing the vehicle that works for you, the vehicle that you are comfortable trading on. Nvidia trying to set up that 5-minute flag at the moment to get back to 200s above its PDC. Market's caught a bid here. All right, Nvidia now 0.35% up. Microsoft 1.58% up. Meta 0.42% up. Google gone red to green, 0.07% up. The weak ones, Apple, 1.55% down. Like we said, it came to the top of that range, needs a pullback to come into the 260s to hold probably. Amazon, 0.25% down. Tesla, 1% down. Here goes Nvidia. It's trying to get those 200 moves. Where's the IB extension? Let's have a look. We did do it earlier, didn't we, I think? 1.5 would be the 540s. 161 would be 560s. We've got some gamma up here. 633 would be a 100% move. New My Fund and Futures accounts let you take payouts every 2 days with end of day. Wow. That is amazing. Well, I'm going to check those out then. That's really good. That is really, really good if they do. Or you can use my code there. It'll get you the best discount. FCT on all your prop firms. Always get you the best discount. All right, here they go. They're trying to get these 500s. Nvidia's trying to get the 200s. QQQ's trying to get to 41. It's basing over 40s. ES is running out of reasons to move higher now at this point, so it's just in a slow grind. There's not much left to go up for, honestly. Tradeify have daily payouts? Yeah, on their select plans. They have daily payouts on select. And my portfolio just keeps lifting and lifting and lifting this week. It's amazing to not see it pull back in. Like I said on Twitter yesterday, I had to start selling some yesterday. This move is too big, too fast for my swings. So started to take some profits yesterday. And ideally, we come back in and we can reload on the swings. Ideally, we come back in to offer that. Right, here comes the 500s. They're trying to run these stops like we talked about up into 500. They're almost there. And then a little squeeze out above. And then they just see if they can sustain a bid or not. And there you go. Is the 500 break. Nvidia's trying to get up to 200. And you just sat at this point. It's like you probably any of you that were long here or here. You're runners only, and just see how far it gets. This is the start of the supply on the daily. All the way up here. It's a big block, but this is where it starts. Let me just check where we get thick. We don't really. What's this next node? Yeah, we've got room. I'm showing. Let me show you. All right, any pullback now that holds here has room. If they let go of that, then we can rotate back down to here and still be bullish. But you can see this, there's not much up here. All right, there really isn't. Ideally, they offer something like this in the next few weeks. Ideally, we don't just go and run this straight out because I'm selfish and I want to add longs in my swing. So I'm long from down here, but I would love to add something. And I'm not just going to add at the highs. So hopefully it comes back in a little bit. For the swings I'm talking about. You've never seen charts like this on indexes. Yep, no one has. They don't exist. This is the first time in history we've done a move like this. Anyone says it's not is lying. They should just go and look at the percentage that we've moved up in the pace at which we've done it. It's very, very, very quick. Like if we look at, everyone's comparing it to last year. It's nothing like last year. It makes me laugh when people say it's like last year. We'd have to go to the NQ1 contract. All right, let me just... NQ1, you do exist. Come on. All right, the move last year was an over-aggressive sell as well, the big difference. And to get back to highs, where's my measurer? Off the low. You can see we pushed, we pull back, we pushed, we pull back, we pushed, we pull back, we pushed, we pull back. Right, to get back to the highs took 56 days. 56 days or something. Sorry, 86 days, right? And the first, I mean, that tariff day was ridiculous, biggest day I've ever seen. Here we go, volatility coming. I've got to move back into this so we can watch it now. All right, they've just popped all these stops at the highs and then sold it. Nvidia failing the 200s, pulling right back in. All right, I'm watching this now for a look above and fail. It's a very risky trade, but I'm going to watch very, very carefully. I'm going to also watch the bull trap, the bear trap here as well. They've just popped a lot of stops on this flushed back down. Don't think we get another trade set up here, but I'm going to watch in case they start failing. Here's an initial balance. ES aggressively moving under once it got stuck at Globex. So they ran the stops at Globex. This can be a bear trap down here, so I'm going to watch how we act into 80s. We're still absorbing the initial balance. We're still absorbing value area high from Globex. So this is value area high from Globex. This is where they want to hold bids. I'm going to watch this node here to see if and how we act. It's a very, very dangerous trade if I do take it. I'm not convinced I'm going to take it, but I'm going to watch. The sellers came in at 79.80. Yeah, lifting back to them now. It can just be a bear trap and a soak back up, but this is the level. I'm watching this now, how we act here. Nvidia flushed, caught a bid at PDC, so they're going to try and get back to the 200s. So still nothing. I'm just watching how we act here. If this is like the last few days, we'll make a new high. But if it's not like the last few days, this will be the lower high set after we've swept. They're trying to bid 70s and 65s and 50s here. This is the first reaction here. I'm interested. I want to see what happens at 70s. Flow zone still bullish right now. Still above IB. ES coming back into its IB. That was a big wash on ES by comparison. It came right down to the equivalent of us coming to 20s. Yeah, it came right down here on ES, basically. Flushed right down into this and caught a bid. So you can see sellers are trying to step in here at 80s, but there's lots of bid underneath right now trying to support the action. They're trying to sell through it now. All right, let's have a look then. $85 to 65 is the current rotation. Over 85, they squeeze back up to 605s. No, I'm not in a trade right now. I'm watching in case there's a sell opportunity for failed follow through. I'm not going to watch the longs up here. I've already made my money for the day as well. Still seeing some bid here at 65s to 50s. I think we're going to fill those. There's this move to 65. There's lots of imbalances here where they rebid. Testing 65 again. Let's see if this bid moves up or not. Still not seeing an aggressive tape here. And the POC of that last candle was right up at 500. So there's not really buyers trapped until we get up to 500. So they might need to come and retest. So I don't want to be early to this. Bid stepping in again here at 70s. Trying to, so like the last few days, the bid's aggressive and the sell non-existent. And there's still no sellers in this market. It might have been a little bear trap then to go back up. Still they're lifting. They're starting to come into these imbalances here now. Right, so we have buy side imbalance, sell side imbalance. We're pinning between the two. You can see the buyers got caught up at 500, not before. There is some buy caught a little bit at 83s, but we're still supporting the bid and we're supporting IB, so it can still be an IB trend day. So still nothing for me. observing and watching the levels. We're right into that level at 80 now. And if we go through that, we go Globex. ES into its IB high here, so divergence between the two. ES coming up, testing its IB high where it failed down from. So big divergence between the two. Every time I look at ES, it looks cleaner. For a little while now, it'd be nice if NQ could start giving us the same levels. It'd be really nice. So value area high from Globex held, top of the grey box, IB held, still bullish, still no sell. Was waiting to see if there's failed follow through. There isn't. Thank you, Alex, for your knowledge and commentary on the market and order book. Definitely makes trading a bit easier for me. I'm Sunrise, by the way. Thank you again, once again. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate the tip. Get my coffee for the day. All right, lift they go. ES showing more weakness here because it's failing initial balance. It's completely the opposite to NQ. So divergence still at play in this market. We're coming to test 500, which is the only level where buyers got caught. Since you started following me, you made money. Nice. And here they come through the 500s, and they're going to lift again. And so next level's up. There's just no way I wanted to bid on that, but that was the trap underneath. Reclaim. The divergence to ES is absolutely notable right now. So it's like yesterday, making it impossible for me to want to pull a trigger either way now. Do I ever trade ES? No. I'm like I always talk about. I will swing position. All right. I will take swing positions in the spiders. I don't trade it. I don't think the vehicle's as good. Like, it's clean, but your opportunity for day trading is better in the NQ or MNQ because of the volatility and the range. The opportunity for swing trades, in my opinion, is better in the spiders because it's less likely to run the stops because it's a thicker book. These sellers are starting to lift higher again and pull their offers just like they have done the last few days, which makes me think there's a new resqueeze coming here. Nvidia failing to get up there though. There you go, there's a resqueeze. There you go, because they lifted higher, so they've just run the stops again. Here they go, big old squeeze. Like I said, they started lifting. You could see it on the book. And how much of an extension have they got now is the only question. Just like the last few days. Up and up and up and up and up. And sellers just lift and lift and lift and lift. We're seeing news here. Israel's prime minister is holding phone calls with his cabinet ministers now on Lebanon affairs. I mean, really? Like, you're going to lift it on that news? That is not news. Oh, we've got a phone call. Guess what? He's going to still bomb my country over and over and over again and say he's not going to do it, and he's still going to do it because he's a fucking asshole and he's a war criminal. Doesn't matter what he says. I called it before. How? Because I could see the sellers lifting. All right. So when we talk about this a lot. Imagine we've got like imagine the sellers were here. All right. So price is here. Imagine it's when we're here, and there are sellers here, and then they start removing and going higher and higher and higher and higher, and removing these and moving higher. All right. What does that tell you? Well, there's no resistance here, and it tells me that they're probably buyers that think they can get filled higher, so they're going to take profit higher. That's how I know. It's just reading the book. It's all it is reading the book. So they're rebidding here at 15s. Imbalance filled again. Nvidia still not at that 200, remember, folks? Made 4,500 on my TPT account. Thanks to you, Alex. Nice work, Kyle. Nice work. How do you read the book from your point of view? Would you mind explaining that? I love the commentary. I think I just did explain it, right? I think I just... Maybe that comment came in late. I think I just did explain it. So some failures up here. Sellers stepping on the gas a little bit here. They're trying to bid 605. If they lose 605, they're bidding 95 and 80s and then 70s. And I'm just going to let this shake out for a minute. We have cleared out high of day. We are thin up here. Do we see any big lots come in here at the highs? Excess at the high is pretty good right now, but we'd need to see this candle move away from those highs. But excess at the high is pretty good. Everything above 1775 right now is pretty much buy side. Maybe we should call it 20s, 21s. Doesn't mean they can't lift higher. Last few days, all they've done is continue to lift higher after this. Nvidia with failing to break out there. If Nvidia comes back below PDC, it's a bad sign for this market. As in, if you're bullish, it will be a bad sign because you've had failing to break higher there for the first time today on Nvidia. So they're trying to pin this imbalance here at the 500s. If they lose 500s, we're going to come and test 88s. Here they come. Here's the 500. If they lose this, they probably test 88s. There we go. We're starting to flush down towards 88. So I've got a small piece on this just for this move in case this is the end of it. All right, covering some here into 88s. So we hit 90, it's close enough. And we'll see now if they resell 15s or not. That was just a very, very small scalp. Just trading the book. ES holding IB. If we reject 15s, it's probably a pretty good sign, but they're still bullish overall. It was just a little scalp there because I could just see them starting to let go of the tape. So it was worth taking a little piece. If they reject 15s, we'll see how we act. Still ES absorbing. Yeah, Nvidia is failing to move upside right now. It's building a range, but I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts to move higher, which it's failed. It's worth noting that. Starting to see sellers try and force this move down here now. So IB will be their target. They've got to get under 90s or under 87s. This node here now. Can I draw this out? This node here becomes important now. Right, under there, there's a bit of a vacuum. Right, and there is an opportunity under here. This can still be supported back up. 15s is the level that I'm seeing upside at the moment where sellers would have to defend. If they can't defend that, then we're going to see a new high of day. If they can defend that and get under 90s, then they're going to look for the rotation back to IB. If they get under IB, then we can think about the IB trade. At the moment, we're absorbing well. ES is at IB and absorbing well. So again, divergence at play on the book. You have to be aware of this. Nvidia coming down to its PDC. So we're getting into an area of interest here. If it loses PDC, there is not much structure on Nvidia. Here we go. All right. Let's see. Can we see follow through? Like, came right in then, didn't it? Right in and instant absorption. You can see the importance of this like we talked about. All right. Nvidia at that PDC. What happens now is going to be important. QQQ at 640 as well. So potential RBS zone for QQQ. ES holding New York open as well. God, divergence present again. ES holding this. Flow is still bullish overall. Not in anything currently. I took that little quick scalp and that was it. Where did those sellers last come in? Yeah, 17s. That's why I keep saying sort of 15s to 20s is a key level. I'm flat now. I'm just waiting now to see how we operate. Don't really want to have another go short unless I see a big rejection there and then get us under IB. Otherwise, I think there's a slow grind up can happen again because we've just absorbed PDC on Nvidia. So they're trying to hold that print. My stomach is rumbling. I'm hungry. When I say sellers are moving up, what am I looking at? I think I literally drew it out for you. You'd have to watch Bookmap, but I literally drew it out for you. It's quite literally passive sellers moving higher. Okay, that's literally what I'm looking at. If you're looking at a candle, you won't see it. These buyers are trying to get back up to test that node at 15 to 20. Great absorption on ES on the New York Open and great absorption on Nvidia at its close, previous day close. So they're trying to lift this to go up to 15 to 20 to test those sellers at the moment. It's what the buyers are trying to do. And if they get through that, there'll probably be a new high. Yeah, I'd say 15 to 20 is a big level now. 14 EMA trained on the H1. Yeah, I don't use the 14, but I do look at it. It's not the 14 that I use. I use my flow zones right here, so we pulled back to it. Globex yesterday and this morning, and we've reclaimed, right, over under. Here's the extension. So they can do this if they want. This is the same as this move yesterday. If they want to do more, they can do it. We're holding lower time frame as well. Again, where I would have liked to be in a buyer today, we were short today for the break of here. I wanted to get down into here, into this. I would have loved to have been a buyer here or here today. This would have been nice for a bid back up. Nice and cheap, 50+% pullback from here to here into fair value. That would have been a great buy opportunity. Didn't quite come in. Was close. Was close, didn't quite come in. All right, did we get up to 15s? Not yet. Sellers coming back in again here. It's getting tight here now. Still not enough likes. It's crazy. No giveaways today then. All right, back to Globex again. Nvidia back to close price again. Very big level this across the board. Big level this. Nvidia starting to sell through PDC. And if we see the market follow and see weakness, we'll fail to make a new high, you might see a breakdown here again. We haven't come back and tested those 15s yet. Nvidia starting to break. Is the rest of the market going to follow? Nvidia aggressively selling now under PDC like we talked about. Will the rest of the market follow? There's a sell side imbalance back towards 500. I'm still watching 500 and 515s. I'm not going to chase it into this level. And then we can consider under IB as well. But I would need to see a lift and a fail. And I would have to be very, very, very careful because it's a counter trend trade. It's very hard to take. And we can still squeeze higher if they reclaim, especially if Nvidia traps under PDC. So I'm watching across the board. ES is still holding initial balance as well. It's like a little bit of a messy book here while they figure out what it is that they want to do. I don't trade top steps, all right? Can't answer any questions on that. Nvidia starting to reject PDC now on that lift back in. ES still holding on to the IB. We're not down at the IB yet, so Divergence still here. I'm waiting to see if we get down to IB and how we act here. We didn't quite lift to 500 there. 97 rejected. There's the imbalance is higher than that. Feels like sell's coming back down here. The fact that it's not selling with Nvidia is a concern. Because Nvidia is going to come into a pivot and find a bid, and then market can lift off that. So they're pinning it really well here on the cues, pinning it really well. It's almost there, NVIDIA, to where it'll find a bid. It's almost there. Not going to give me a sell opportunity, I don't think. Would love to. It's going to go now. You're not in this. Not in this rotation. If you are in this, you want to be covering some into these 64s, and then if you get acceptance under IB, you can look for the VWAP trade. Look at NVIDIA letting go. Okay, I would advise you not to compare today to yesterday. Right? I would advise you not to be like, oh, that happened yesterday, so it's going to happen today. Don't do that. Don't do that. Play what's in front of you and what's in front of you only. If every day was the same, everyone would be millionaires. Market will not repeat itself every single day. Just play the levels in front of you and those levels only. Here we go. There's a lift to 500. I'm still interested to see how we act at 500 and 515s. I'm not interested beforehand. I want to see how we act there. Very volatile right now. Very sensitive area. They're still in a trend up as well. Look, we're still higher highs and higher lows. I'm just interested. If they trap here and sell and then we get stuck, I can think about it. Where's that guy? 540s. It's quite high for him to be sat up there. Why are you up there, mate? Why are you up there? Let's see if NVIDIA can lift back towards PDC and then how it acts, because it's just broken down from there. See how ES acts at Globex high, because it's found no acceptance above it so far. 640 QQQ still holding well. Still higher highs and higher lows. Here's the 500, so the imbalance now filled. Let's see if they come 515 and how they act. Still bullish overall. Up every day, yeah. I mean, it is up every day. We're in breakout territory. Shorts getting squeezed out. Not quite to the 15s to 20s. We're almost there. All right, NVIDIA back to PDC. If it sells here and we can time it to 15 to 20s, it would be interesting. If they recover PDC and we recover 15 to 20s, then I would expect a new high. ES going for it. Right, here's the key level on NVIDIA and on ES. So we're watching 15s, and if we recover 15s, new high of day. If we sell 15s to 20s, so where the last seller stepped in was really that 15 to 20 zone. If they defend that big buyer coming in here, let's see if he gets caught or they get that move above. Starting to see a little bit of absorption here. Not seeing enough wiggle on the tape yet. We're just flat for the last 2 minutes, not going anywhere. Sellers still not walking down. Here they come. Right, absorbed at 500. Sellers are trying to come in now for this break. NVIDIA rejecting PDC. I'm interested, but it's a risky trade. We just caught a buyer at 07s, and they just absorbed again at 97s. It's not ready yet. These sellers at 20s and 40s are not walking down yet. So it's the same story. You'll hear me talk about it over and over again. The fact that this seller is just sat here and not walking down does not bode well. All right. If he was adamant on creating a wall, he'd be adding liquidity to try and push this market lower right now. So I'm interested, but I'm not seeing quite what I want on the tape. $15s to $20s is still the level. ES is now breaking out of its Globex. Let's see if it holds the bid back in or not. If it does, we won't be looking about the short here. We'll be ignoring all action. $500's now key. They've left imbalances lower. Caught a little bit of a buy, caught at 07s. Not quite come quite up high enough for like really catch my interest yet. ES rejecting Globex as well, coming back down again. What are we doing, Qs? Are you going to do something here? Because you're doing nothing at the moment. You're literally doing nothing. More liquidity added higher now. Okay, a guy at 40s moved down to 35s and 30s. So they're hoping this squeezes up at the moment to fill them. Watching to see if they lift and pull it again. Here's the 15s to 20 range. Watching these sellers above to see if they're going to move down or not. Or if they're going to lift and let it squeeze. Here's the 15 to 20s. This is the node that matters. If they don't defend this, then I would imagine a new high of day. Sellers still not walking down. They're adding higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. So we're going to try and squeeze by the looks of it. Yep, more and more and more. They're just adding higher and higher again. All right, so no attempt there, and we just leave it alone. I think we just leave this alone at this point. I won't bid up here into the daily supply, this red block. That's why I don't want to be able to buy it. Would have loved to be a buyer and selling into this, and I'm not going to force a sell. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. And nothing more to do with it. Yes, we know that that news you're talking about is old. It was circulated a little while ago already. It is. I am like curious how long they can just circulate the same bullshit news. Like, oh, we're going to have talks and we're going to do this and we're going to do that and this is going to happen and the war's won and the war's over and it's going to end really soon. I'm not sure how long, but it's over. It's like, all right, we're into week 7 of that bullshit. Like, just get it done and we can get back to a normal market. I don't know about any of you, but I'm pretty bored of the same rhetoric being told. It is boring at this point because there's no facts in any of it. Not, it's done at this date. We are categorically doing this. This is how much it's cost us. No, just hyperbole. When's it going to be done? I think it's done soon. Yeah, soon. I would say we've won. It's done. Well, why are you still there then? If it's done, why are you still there? It's not done, is it? We're going to have talks. Great. You had talks last week, the week before, the week before, the week before, and the week before. I just can't wait to be done with this whole situation and get back to like a more normal market. Yeah, the use of Truth Social is absolutely absurd as well. It's ridiculous. To posting really key information on a social media platform. It's like, we're not going to have a press conference. We're just going to post throughout the day. Yesterday, he decided to post him with Jesus. Before he was Jesus. Sorry, a doctor. Now he's with Jesus. It's actually insane. I might start posting myself with who should we post? We should all do memes. Who can we post ourselves with? See if he or we should just make them of Trump and see if he picks them up. and repost them. I can't believe he's making any of these. It must be people that post them. Okay, continuing to lift here. QQQ breaking out. At 640, so we've made an RBS zone now on QQQ. Really, really strong on QQQ, and it can just continue to squeeze all day now if it really wants. We're above the initial balance. This was the RBS zone. It's flipped it, and it will just start to print higher and higher and higher. We're into slow grind territory. There's no short now in this market. Their opportunity here was to defend this and then look for this, all right, and they didn't do it. And all we can observe is flow remains up. They had the chance with this trap. They've let them out already. So probably done. And oh, we're into lunch. Didn't even notice that. That went quick. That went quick. Back into lunch. All right, folks. Same again tomorrow then. Remember, OPEX tomorrow. I am not, again, like today, I'm not convinced I'll be taking trades tomorrow. We will just have to see what's what. I am really unconvinced that after a move this big into OPEX, that it will warrant me to do anything. I'm not going to fight the tape, and I'm not going to buy longs into deep premium into now daily supplies. There's just no way I'm doing it. It's not going to happen. I will stick to my rules. They're my rules. They don't have to be your rules, but they are my rules. All right, folks. No giveaway today because you didn't get the likes up enough. Very basic ask each day. So, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning, and we'll have another crack. Right, we'll see what sets up tomorrow morning. Those in Discord, I'll pop in a bit. I'm gonna go to the gym first to get a workout in. Peace and love, everyone. Use hard stops. Be kind to each other. All that good stuff. And I'll see you 9:15 tomorrow AM. Take care.